The
All right.
only reason why I
Cool.
refuse to go back to streaming on YouTube, well, there's a few reasons. One, it's like the whole thumbnail
Thumbnails,
thing. Yes.
bruh.
Yes, I fucking hated making a thumbnail. Like it got to the point where I would just reuse the same thumbnail over and over and over again.
Mm,
And I'm like, can we just do what Twitch does and like have a live thumbnail? That's
I
one.
know.
And two, like I feel like interaction on
Mm.
YouTube is just weird for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So we're live, and there was a Nintendo Direct, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a lot. They announced a lot of stuff in this thing,
Yeah.
and like
They did.
I'm excited to talk about this. Like they started it with a banger and they ended it with a banger, and there was bangers in between. A lot of stuff I didn't know what it was, but like some of you probably know more about it than I do. Um, but they started with Pikmin 4, so
Which
I have not played a lot of Pikmin. I played like
Mm.
a couple on like GameCube and some on the Wii, I think, but like not like in order or anything. So I mean, didn't know what it was. But, my knowledge on Pikmin isn't probably as much as some of you, but Pikmin 4 looks great, and I think July is a perfect release date because from what I know, there's no other games right now coming out in July from any company. Like June,
True.
there's a bunch of new games coming out that are not Nintendo related, and July
Yeah.
seems like a perfect date for Pikmin 4 right now.
I think it depends on what kind of game Pikmin 4 ends up being. Like if Pikmin 4 ends up being a game like, for example, Final Fantasy VII or like Legend Arceus, where it's like open zone
Mm,
or like kind of like a linear story, like linear game, I think it's fine. I
mm,
think if they're releasing Pikmin 4 2 months after Breath of the Wild, after Tears of the Kingdom, and it's another open world game, I think that's where they're gonna run into an issue of like, hey, this game is $70, this game is $70. Both of them are pretty
Pikmin.
big games.
mm-hmm.
What are we gonna do here?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's no way they're gonna make Pikmin 4 $70. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's a very $60 game. Like I think
Right.
Nintendo is gonna use $70 sparingly. Like Breath of the Wild makes sense. And like if we ever get Prime 4, like I feel that like that's probably gonna be it too. But Pikmin is already such a niche audience that I feel like they sell decently and they like do pretty good and there's like a solid fan base there, you know, but like at the same time, it doesn't do like Breath of the Wild numbers, you know? So it's
Right.
like I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that they have the ability to make it $70 and that if they do that, I think that's gonna screw the whole thing up. And I also think that there's almost no way it's gonna be fully open world. No Pikmin game is
Yeah.
like that. I think it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be open zone. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Like
you can
Legend
always kind
Arceus
of
then.
well, kind of. It's like Pikmin always has this style, and it was already kind of like it's open, you know, because you like go and you travel around the area until you're done, and then you kind of move around as you unlock more abilities. Um, and so I just feel like it's not gonna. I don't know.
Open
I
zones,
just
I
feel
feel
like it's
like
not
makes
gonna change
sense for
that much.
Pikmin. Open world Pikmin, I don't know. It
Yeah,
just doesn't seem.
that just wouldn't really work, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Like Pokemon, it works better, and Sonic Frontiers did open zones, but I think open world would work for that as well because of Sonic's speed and stuff. There's ways to make that work pretty well.
Right.
But I think Pikmin, yeah,
I feel like
zones make sense.
I don't know, like looking back at Scarlet and Violet, I feel like open world was kind of a mistake. I think the open zone idea they had with Legends Arceus I think just worked better in my opinion. Mainly because of how bad the game was just like lagging. I feel like if they I'd have spent a lot more time with that game in like the oven or they made it open zone, I think it'd been better.
Yeah, and I think some of the aspects from Arceus should have been a part of Scarlet and Violet as well, such as the catch, the throwing to catch kind of aspect. Like, there's some aspects that I think that going forward with Pokemon, they need to combine both stuff from Scarlet and Violet and stuff from our Legends Arceus, and kind of build upon both of those with whatever they do next.
That's true.
Sonny Jen, you got anything? Thoughts?
Uh, well, so first of all, I've never played Pikmin in my life, so when it does come out, I'm definitely gonna buy it. It looks really interesting to me. The puppy reminded me of Poochie from Yoshi, so I thought that was cool.
Mm,
Um, honestly, it looks pretty open, more open to me than the previous Pikmin games. I'm
mm,
not sure. That's all I gotta say.
okay, okay. So, I listen. I have not played these games. That I don't know about the gameplay, but Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Expansion Pass Volume 3, and Volume 4 were announced in the expansion pass. I've never really played Xenoblade. Only because I don't know if the
I've
gameplay's
dabbled.
really I don't know if the gameplay's really my thing, but I mean it looks cool for people who are into Xenoblade.
Yeah, if you're nervous about gameplay, like Xenoblade Chronicle 3 is probably the best one to do because it's the most streamlined one, and like that's why I couldn't get into the series previously because like I also thought it was too open, and I have a hard time with like super big games. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, like I think Xenoblade Chronicles 3 streamlines it a lot, and this announcement was kind of cool, but I'm not into the expansion pass to be honest because the game's already so massive that I'm not gonna like keep coming back after I
Right.
finish it.
Yeah.
Like I've had my chat and Discord been trying to get me to play Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And
Mhm.
after seeing that, I'm like, nah, I definitely don't want to play it because I know how big this game is already.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's like Breath of the Wild, but like if they added like another 1/3 of the map. Like I don't
Yeah.
need the extra stuff. I got enough in the main game as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Xenoblade games are huge. It's pretty insane.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Samba de Amigo Party Central was the next one announced, and that was made by Sega originally, and that's a remaster, I think, of a party game. I mean,
I personally don't know how to feel about it. I saw it, I'm like,
yeah, it might be something cool to like play with friends or family or whatever, but you know, it's nothing,
right.
nothing really major there.
I like didn't even realize that that was in the direct to be completely honest because when that happened I like hit a little milestone on the channel, right? And so I was kind of
Yeah,
freaking
yeah.
out. And then like at the same time this like random little rhythm game was going on in the background. I was like, what the heck? But yeah, I don't know.
And then the next thing they showed after that was Fashion Dreamer, that game with the
Okay, wait, actually I was kind of hyped because I thought this was Style Savvy, which is like the Nintendo version of it, that I played on the DS when I was a kid. But it's not, so I don't really care anymore. But
okay.
You know what I'm waiting for at this point? Just give me Nintendogs.
for real,
You know
dude.
what? That'd be a great
I'm like
idea.
the last person to play it, but like just give me Nintendogs. Like,
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I remember when the DS, like the DS Lite first came out. That was one of the games I got with it for Christmas when it first came out. Was Nintendogs. It's like, you know what? Bring back Nintendogs. I'll play it for like $20 or something.
right.
I'd pay you know what? I'd pay $70 for that game. That's the only
Really?
For
one.
Nintendogs?
That nah, just kidding. But honestly, maybe.
Okay, so this was announced back at Game Awards, but they showed like gameplay for it and stuff. With Dead Cells getting Castlevania content, which I mean, that's pretty cool. I want to see Castlevania itself come back. I mean, it'd be nice, but I don't know.
Mhm.
So I mean, I never played Dead Cells, but I mean, Castlevania being in there, I mean, I think that's pretty cool.
I have never personally played Dead Cells, but I've watched an entire playthrough because my boyfriend like loves it, so he played through the whole thing. And like it was a pretty hype announcement because like new weapons and stuff in that game is kind of a big deal because it changes up the gameplay a lot. But yeah, personally, I didn't really care too much, but I thought it was interesting.
Tron Identity. I don't even know what that
I'm not a
is.
fan of the films, not a fan of any games they produced. I wasn't
Okay,
a fan
but
of Kingdom Hearts.
the Disneyland ride, fire.
That looks cool. That Disneyland ride looks really
I'm
cool.
gonna try it out when I come down there at some point.
Yeah, I went on a
looks sweet.
preview of it yesterday. It was pretty iconic.
That's pretty
That's
sweet.
good. I feel like
I
the
don't think I've
franchise is
ridden
just.
that ride.
Huh?
I don't think I've ridden that ride at Disneyland.
Is there
Yeah,
a
it's
new one?
remember it.
it's brand new. It's not even out
Oh.
to the public yet. It comes out on in April, but since I'm a little cast member, I get to go early.
I don't understand the appeal of Tron. Like,
The ride is
I-
really cool. The movie's trash, in my opinion.
right.
Oh,
like,
man.
I can't.
I have a thing for
Oh,
Tron,
sorry.
for that last Tron movie, man. I don't know.
I
Why.
think, okay, but the design is good, but like, it's just boring to me.
Well, they're moving forward with the third Tron movie, so we'll see. But Jared Leto's the lead, so I mean, that's hit or miss right there. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That ride looks awesome though. I'd love to check that out if I
Let me
ever
look
went
it
down there.
up.
It looks so cool. I literally just seen something on it earlier today, and I'm like, oh, that's sweet. So are you like leaning forward in it? Is it like an actual bike kind of thing?
Yeah, you like on a bike and you lean
Oh
forward the whole
shoot, that
time.
looks cool.
That's
And then
really
it's
sweet.
like a roller coaster. So then you zoom, and you guys know like Space Mountain, how it's like inside and stuff, and there's like a
Yeah.
bunch of virtual stuff. So it takes you on like a normal roller coaster, like outside kind of, and then it goes into like the Tron area, and then it's like, oh, you're racing the orange team, and then at the end it's like, yeah, we beat the orange team. It's kind of cute, but
I like
like
that.
That's really
the
cool.
story's cool and stuff, and then but the actual ride is like really crazy, and it goes super 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 fast, so it's pretty fun.
Oh wow.
You guys ever come down? Let me know.
Yeah.
Be a nice graduation gift.
Hmm. The next thing they showed was Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. I don't know what that is. It says it's a DS
No
game coming to
clue.
Switch and everything else.
Wait, which one was Ghost Trick?
Ghost Trick Phantom Detective.
Yeah, no, I've never seen this before in my life.
Yeah, no. So that's like nothing. That doesn't even really matter. The next thing was Deca Police. It's a new RPG. Who is it that makes that? I don't actually know who makes that, but it looked kind of interesting. It gave me like Persona vibes in a way, kind of, but maybe not as good. I don't know. It looks interesting. Or you play as an officer and it's like I don't know if it's turn based or not. I don't remember some of this stuff. It's like I'm like going through it as we go. It's like what?
The art style looked kind of cool for that game, I think, but I just like don't really have any interest. Like I don't know, I have a hard time with like super anime over the top games, just in general. Like I'm playing Engage right now and I actually really like it, but like some of the characters, I'm like, holy crap, this is crazy. But that's just my personal opinion on them.
Yeah, when it comes to like over the top anime stuff, I think Persona 5 might be the only one that I played, excluding like Dragon Ball stuff or Pokemon, I guess, if you consider that, because that's an anime. I mean, aside from that stuff. The next thing they showed was Bayonetta Origins. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it looks cool, but like at the same time, it's like, but it's not the regular Bayonetta, so like, I don't know. It's not really
Yeah.
something. I don't know if it's something I'm really into. I still haven't played the third one. I still need to play the third one. I really like.
I haven't played it either. I'm like getting through the first one right now, and then, like Origins looks kind of cool, but yeah, I just agree. I feel like it's just not like what makes Bayonetta.
Yeah.
If it's like a $15 game on the eShop, which I don't think it will be, but if it is like that and it's like 5 hours long, I'll probably play it.
Yeah.
But if it's more than that, I probably won't dabble.
Mhm. I don't think it's worth any more than that, really. Anything else on Bayonetta? I heard they're gonna do a
Infinite,
Honestly,
your
I know-
favorite game?
I haven't really followed the game. I mean, after the whole Helena Taylor situation, I kind of just stopped caring.
Oh god.
Like, I never really played the game before. I heard about the game, from Smash. I feel like most people heard about the game from Smash. But like after the whole Helena Taylor situation, I'm like, oh, okay, and just kept moving. Like, it didn't really like register as, oh, maybe this is a game to play.
Yeah.
It had a bad timing release area too. It released like around the same time as like other big stuff like Call of Duty, Resident Evil 8 had DLC, and then like a week and a half after that, Sonic and God of War came out. So like there was like a
that
lot
was
of
a terrible release
stuff. Yeah,
window.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just recently finally played Sonic because I wanted to play God of War when it came out, and Sonic came out the day before. So it was like, oh well, I guess I'm waiting to play Sonic, and I mean, I loved it, but
Still have Sonic in the shrink wrap.
Oh my god. Okay. I haven't played through the whole game. I played through like the first section of the game. A lot of fun.
Mhm.
Definitely worth the purchase.
Yeah, I
Look, I was-
honestly wasn't expecting to have as much fun as I did with it, and I loved every minute of it. The zones were really
Right.
well done. Sure, they could adjust the graphics a little bit, like because there's pop in, but I mean it doesn't affect the gameplay or anything,
Right.
so I mean that's fine. And I mean, the
I-
bosses were phenomenal, man.
The
like,
music
big
work
bosses.
was
Yeah.
amazing. I
All the
listen to the
music.
soundtrack all the time. It's amazing.
Yeah, all the music.
But then
was
again, it's
fantastic.
Sonic. They never fuck up the soundtrack, so
They really don't. They crushed it
Yeah.
with that.
They're really good.
when are you planning on doing a review of it, Josie?
For like 2 years. I feel like I'm not gonna get to this game. Like,
Oh my God.
Like, okay, I have to finish Fire Emblem Engage, and then I have to finish Xenoblade, and those are two of the games that are pushing me way
Yeah.
outside my gaming comfort zone.
And now
I'm just
Metroid
like,
came
oh
out.
my god. And then Metroid came out, and I have to play that. So I'm literally gonna put everything else on pause, play
Yeah.
Metroid, finish Metroid, and then Kirby,
feel that.
and then I gotta play Kirby. I gotta finish Kirby. Like, I don't know. If the Switch ever literally falls off a cliff and dies, then I might play Sonic. I think that's how it's gonna work. I feel bad
that.
about it.
Because
but-
I really want to play Metroid as well, but I'm like, well, Hogwarts just came out, and I'm enjoying that, so I'm like, okay, I guess I can't play Metroid yet. I'll just wait for the physical copy, and then I'll kind of
At
mix
least,
the two or something.
at least you could enjoy Hogwarts, because I know that game has been wrapped to death in controversy
Oh
online.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I'm
wild.
just like, I grew up with Harry Potter, whatever. I'm just gonna play it. So I'm having fun with it so far. I
Right.
played like 3-4 hours so far, and I'm enjoying it. So whatever.
Nice.
That's good.
Okay, so Splatoon 3 had I know Josie's probably excited about that expansion pass
Hype.
wave. Honestly, I don't have Splatoon 3 still. I played like 60 hours of the second game, played a ton of the first game, like probably over 100 hours. So this expansion might get me to buy the game, honestly, because the fact that you get to go back to the first area from the first game, like, that got me pretty excited.
That was the weirdest thing when they just announced that you could just go back to the hub world. I was like, "What are we doing
Yeah.
right now?" And then they were also like, "Oh yeah, you know that DLC that we teased when we literally announced the game originally like 2 years ago. Actually, that's not coming out for a while." And I was like, "Okay, all right, for sure." But no, Splatoon's really good, and that hub world's really cool. I kind of hope, you know how they have the arcade, like D-Man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The arcade thing.
Yeah.
On the Wii one or on the Wii U, they had like Squid Jump, where it was the loading screen game.
Mhm.
I want that to be in the arcade at the hub world so we can play it. That's
Oh,
like
yeah.
the only thing I need in Splatoon 3 to make it
Mm-hmm.
absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and you know, I was thinking, like, do you think they're gonna do a Splatoon 4? Because like this expansion, going back to the original area, I mean, I guess Splatoon makes too much money to where it's like, this is like Nintendo's Call of Duty kind of thing, I guess. But it's just like, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's a little too new to just drop off the face of the earth after the third one, and especially since it sells good, they have like teams dedicated to it, you know what I'm saying? So, I feel like I think they're probably going to change a lot though. Like I think it's going to be very different and the story is going to be completely different. And we might even play as like
Probably.
different characters, like maybe not the Inklings and the Octolings anymore. But I think we're definitely getting a sequel of some sort on the next console. Like I think Nintendo would be kind of dumb not to do that because there's whole communities built around Splatoon because it's so big.
I
Just
speaking
my 2
of
cents.
speaking of like Switch hardware, I personally wasn't expecting anything until maybe 2024. Some people were expecting new hardware this year. I still don't believe it.
We're not seeing anything. There's no
20
way.
2024, the earliest.
The earliest. We might
The
see something
earliest.
2025.
Right.
I don't listen to any rumors.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, I feel like the rumors have kind of like just clouded it with too much like fake stuff that like, oh, it's like we're getting like a Switch Pro. I'm gonna get all this. I'm like, guys, yes, the Switch is like what in its 7th year of its lifetime now, which it doesn't even feel like it because the Switch still runs
6
like
years.
really really well compared to like
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah,
Okay,
6 years.
I mean, yeah, it's still like 6 years into its lifetime, and it's like it still runs pretty good. And I feel like what people don't understand is that Nintendo kind of makes their consoles to last for a while. Like they may not be
Yeah.
the best quality when it comes to like their graphics and all that, but they make their shit to last for a while. Like the Wii came out in what 2005, and that thing was still kicking. Let me
it was-
check.
I'm
Sounds
pretty sure
like-
6.
Yeah.
I think it was 6.
The
but
Wii
it-
came out, yeah, 2006. Wii came out in 2006. It
lasted
discontinued in
8 years.
2013, and people were
It was 8
still
years.
able to like right, and people were still able to like play on the Wii, even to this day. Like it's still a really viable, usable console.
Oh,
With
yeah.
the PS4, like example, my PS4, I had to like get myself a whole new PS4 because after like 4 years of it being
Mhm.
used, it's like sounds like there's a goddamn helicopter in my bedroom. Like
I had to do that too.
Nintendo-
I had to get a Pro at one point because my PS4 was sounding like that too, and it was
Right.
overheating. Even the
Like-
PS4 Pro, it kind of gets really hot. It's like, it's,
Right.
yeah. The PS5 definitely they improved a lot when it comes to the heating system.
And I think that's what makes like Nintendo like products last so long because they're built to last. They're not built to be like, oh, let's put out a new console in 4 or 5 years. That's not their goal. Their goal is a long-term project of like, hey, let's make this console something that can be used 5, 6, 7 years
Mhm.
from now, while we start working on a new project. Not 5, 6, 7 years. We need a new like thing now because our consoles are like catching on fire.
Yeah, well, since the Switch will be 6 years old this year, I think, yeah, probably 2025 seems like a safe bet, like 8 years in. It's just because people say like, oh, the hardware is starting to really like be like way behind times because you got the Series X and the PS5, and obviously
Right.
PCs being so powerful and stuff. So I mean, I totally get that, but
Mhm.
as Nintendo said, they don't really know what they're gonna do next. I say just up. Everyone says just upgrade the Switch's hardware. Kind of makes the most sense, you know. Just upgrade the Switch's hardware. Just do the same thing. No other games company has made well, there's the Steam Deck now. Well, no, that's just a handheld. No other game company has done a handheld that's both a handheld and a console, you know, and the Switch just works.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm just tired of the rumors. Like, obviously, we're not getting Switch Pro. Like, that's not happening. We're not getting another iteration of the Switch. I just really think that's just too far gone. I think the next hardware Nintendo's going to announce is probably just going to be a sequel
Yeah.
to the Switch, and they're probably going to call it, like, not the Switch 2 or something, but it's probably going to be very similar, a bit,
Mhm.
like, with some different gimmicks and stuff that we don't use ever. And then, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's going to be pretty much almost very similar.
At least
But
let us
just an
be able to
iteration.
message our friends on our console. You know?
Yeah, and have
Yeah.
on console voice chat, please.
Yeah, that would be
True.
nice too.
Uh,
Yeah.
single player game. I mean, yeah, buy multiplayer games. Oh God, no.
Nah.
So
Unite lobbies are toxic.
Genius Gamer
Ugh.
R says Splatoon 4, they'll probably do it on a new console instead, which makes sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
There's no way they release another Splatoon on the Switch. That would be insane. That would
Yeah,
like split the
yeah.
player base way too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
A third
they
Splatoon
rely
on
on
the
being an
Switch,
online
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I would be pissed. Like literally the way I would be so upset.
It's I know people were wondering because of Zelda that there was going to be a new system, but it's like no. I feel, you know what? I one thing that we haven't seen yet is something new for Mario, which we haven't seen anything, you know, in some time for Mario, I think. And
True.
I'm wondering if they're going to wait till a new system to do like a big like Mario Odyssey 2 kind of thing, Bowser's Fury type thing, or if we will get something before their next system for Mario. Cuz we got
I
Metroid
think
Prime
we're gonna wait
4
until the next console.
next console. Because we got Prime 4 as well, which will probably be their other massive title for the Switch either next year or the year after. And we'll get back to the Metroid stuff. But I mean, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I think that like. Wait, why did I just lose everything I was about to say? Never mind.
Well, something related to the Switch console or Metroid or Mario.
Oh, Mario. Here it is. Okay. So, I think that to tie in with the Mario movie, maybe a little later in the year, I think in the like E3 time, like June Nintendo Direct, I think we're probably going to get one of those. And then I also think that they're going to announce a new Mario coming out in November or December. But it might be a 2D one. I just feel like they're going to want to tie in with it, and it's
Okay,
also
yeah.
wishful thinking.
Tying in with the movie makes sense. Yeah.
Just
know
for like
what
a
they're
marketing play.
Possible.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
we got a movie that we're making money off of. We got a game we're making money off of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I feel like
Mhm.
like it's been like what they have had. What we've had Mario Odyssey on the Switch, right?
Yeah, it's been like 6
Mhm.
years since we
Mario-
saw a new
Mario
actual
Odyssey,
Mario Odyssey. Or
Bowser's
like
Fury, which is kind of like
that doesn't
what
really
even was
count. That's like an
that?
experiment. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I feel like
Mhm.
we're kind of like doing a new Mario game at this point because like that's the same like we got Mario Odyssey around the same time we got Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild is dropping a new game in Zelda's dropping a new game in 4 months, 3 months.
Mhm.
So I feel like we're kind of around that same age of like, hey, maybe get one more like new Mario game on the Switch before
Yeah.
we drop the console.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. I think so. It might be a 2D
Yeah,
one
yeah.
though. I don't know if they'll do another 3D
Most
before,
likely.
but another 2D for the Switch. Yeah, that makes sense. Plus, you got to think too, when they do a new console, the Switch is still gonna get games for a while, probably still for a good while.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, the Wii U even did for at least a couple years after the launch of the Switch. I mean, Zelda launched with it, or I think it was at least a couple years. I don't know how long the Wii U lasted. Because Mario Odyssey was Switch
The Wii U
exclusive.
lasted like 4 years.
Okay.
It like wasn't very long.
The Switch, yeah, I mean not the Switch. The Wii U had a very short shelf life. Like it honestly, the Wii U was like basically an experiment for the Switch. Like that's what the Switch
really
was.
was.
Like
Yeah.
the finalized
Yeah.
version of what the Wii U was meant to be.
Yeah, but the way they had so many banger games, so they were just like, let me just put those on the Switch to fill out all of the lineup.
Right.
Oh, we
Because
The fact that I
originally-
bought so many of them again.
Me
Genius
too.
Gamer R says Zelda's
I-
still kind of overpriced. I guess we could kind of talk about that. I don't know. A lot-
$70, but like okay, to be fair, like if I was buying Breath of the Wild again, and this is the game was $70, and I could like I had the recollection of like what Breath of the Wild was to me as a gamer, I would pay $70 for it. I'm gonna be real, like I will drop $70 for the game, and I will not care because I think
and like
they made the experience
my bad. Go ahead.
like they made the experience so worth the $60 experiment, and I still haven't like 100% the game. Like I want to 100% the game, I still haven't, but like if
Yeah.
given an opportunity to do so, I will do it again. I will 100% buy the game again. This time for $70. Don't care. It's a fun game. I like it.
Yeah, I think that, like Josie said earlier, with like Metroid Prime 4, for example, I think their massive first party titles might end up being $70, just like the really, really big ones. That way they just make that little extra cash because they know we're going to spend the money on it. Zelda, all the Nintendo fans are buying Zelda. All Nintendo fans will buy another Mario Odyssey or whatever, Metroid Prime 4. I don't want to say Smash. I don't know if they're
No.
ever...
Nintendo doesn't support Smash. They really don't. And
Yeah,
it really
and-
goes to show they don't support Smash.
Yeah, and I don't know if we're ever gonna get another Smash game. It's like where do they go from there? You know, it's just
I
port
highly
it,
think they're just
Yeah.
gonna port Ultimate to other consoles.
Most likely.
Probably.
and they can't do any more DLC, and they won't do it without Sakurai. So I mean, I think that's
Right.
it. You know, they're not gonna reboot it. It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense when you have like 90 characters.
Yeah.
And Smash is one of those games that like really should be a lot better, but like the way they treat the game is like what's causing the game to just like fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And also Nintendo just needs new servers at this point. Like it is like
Oh yeah.
embarrassingly bad how like bad multiplayer is on their the service, which is why I'm
Yeah.
so happy Unite is on Tencent servers and not on Nintendo servers. I think that would just like go insane from trying to play that game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, going back to like the $70 thing, I think it's like sort of starting to become an industry standard because we also have to think about, which is kind of weird, but like economically, we have had a severe inflation like since
Right.
COVID, right? And
Mhm.
so it makes sense that we're gonna like put things up in price a little bit. And it's not like Nintendo was the one to do it first. Like they're always gonna be the company to do bad consumer practices like that last.
Mhm.
And I don't think because all their games are $60 really, but
Right.
I don't think that that's going to translate, at least this generation, to every game being $70. I think that they understand that that's ridiculous, but they also understand the demand for Zelda, and that's why they did it like that. And the resources that they use for that game is insane. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like,
Mhm.
I think they kind of are going to balance it like that, just like to see how many resources. Like, I think Metroid Prime 4 is definitely going to be a $70 game. But if we get like another Wii port, you know, like Kirby's Canvas Curse or something weird and dumb like they like to do, like I don't think that they're gonna put that at $70, you know, because
Oh,
they
for
understand that
sure.
people aren't gonna buy that.
There's some games that kind of have to look at who played in the past and be like, oh, this might be something worth like putting like a $40, $50 price tag on. Some games it's gonna look at them like, this is something that's gonna be a banger. Let's put it at $70. I think
Mhm.
Breath of the Wild's gonna be the first of not too many, but some.
I agree.
You say Breath of the Wild like it doesn't have its own damn name. Tears of the Kingdom.
Have we been calling it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it lost. My bad.
It's like everybody like we have literally known it as Breath of the Wild 2 for like almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's kind of ingrained in our head.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, well, no, never mind. We'll come back to Zelda. We'll come back. Disney Illusion Island. I don't know. Just some Disney game, Disney platformer or whatever.
Oh wait, actually, I'm actually kind of really excited for this game, but that's just like a personal thing because I really like platformers and like I really like the art style of the new Mickey shorts, and it kind of takes that art style, and I'm like a sucker for how good it looks. The animation is in the
It
game,
does
like
look
it's
good.
very fluid and it's very
Yeah.
like characteristic,
Mhm.
and so I think that's literally the only reason why I'm super interested. But I'm kind of excited.
Goofy can fly with
did
a
look
giant
pretty good.
mustard bottle. He like uses a giant
Oh, yeah,
mustard bottle to
that's hype.
fly.
That's hype.
It's fantastic. Fire Emblem expansion pass. I don't play Fire Emblem, so
Don't play Fire Emblem.
I could never
Jen,
get
do you
into
play
the
Fire Emblem?
puzzle aspect.
Yeah.
So
I'm playing Engage right now, and it's really good. But I'm not super. The thing is Engage is my second Fire Emblem ever, and I really like it. But
was Three
it's
Houses
like,
your first, or
yeah,
gotcha?
and I like Three Houses, but I think I actually like Engage a lot more. But I just like it's all about the legacy characters in this game, and I think it's cool seeing them because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
That
Marth
is
from
cool.
Smash.
Mm.
You know, but I actually don't know them from their actual games. It's always like Smash, or it's like,
Yeah.
oh, Roy, my guy in Smash. You know, so it's like, so all these like random new people, I'm just like, I don't care. So I'm not gonna get the expansion pass.
I know Marth and Roy were introduced in the U.S. in Smash Melee first,
Yeah.
before Fire Emblem was even over here. So I mean,
Right.
technically to everybody
Yeah.
in
Now we got-
America, it's gonna be Roy and Marth are actually from Smash first, technically for us.
Right.
Yeah. And we're gonna just keep being mad about them being in Smash.
Yeah,
It's
who was it?
what,
I
Fire
think
Emblem that has like too many characters?
I
Yeah.
forget who I was watching.
They have a
I
wild
think
amount of
I
characters.
think it was Maximilian Dude said when he was reacting to it, he was like, "Okay, this new Fire Emblem expansion, if Smash was still getting DLC, this character and that character would both be coming to Smash right now." Like, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm happy they finally closed the floodgates of Smash characters.
True, because
But,
another
oh my god, we need to clear out some Fire Emblem characters, please.
there'd be a 10th Fire Emblem character which would be coming to the game from this new Fire Emblem game.
At that point, I think Fire Emblem has more representatives in Smash than Mario.
Imagine
That's an issue.
Yeah. Imagine
You know
how
what? I think it
angry.
does.
Imagine how angry everybody would be if the final character for Smash Ultimate would have been a Fire Emblem character instead of
Yeah.
like third party.
I could imagine the war that would just cause at Nintendo.
It
Because
would-
like first off, people have been asking for Sora since the first game, so if we didn't get Sora, that would have been it. People would have stopped playing entirely. But
I would
like
have been done.
another Fire Emblem character, 10? 10 of a roster of like 90?
Yeah. that's
Seriously?
That would have been awful.
I'm so happy to get another.
That would have been the
character.
most Nintendo thing they possibly could have done, though. you
True.
know?
Mhm.
Like,
True.
they do
Yeah,
that, and
yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh, not surprised."
You would have been pissed, but not surprised.
Yep.
That's why this direct was so good. I was like, we're literally saying nothing, and then when we saw like all this stuff, I was like, "Holy cow,
Right.
they actually care."
This is the one direct I feel like a lot of people went in with like just like kind of like an open mind, and like no one was like really saying, "Oh, I want this and this and this." Like it was just like kind of an open mind, like going in. I think that's what made it so like
Yeah.
just
I didn't
a
know what
chill
to
reaction
expect.
to where it's like
Other than Zelda and maybe Pikmin, I didn't know what to expect. I had no clue. I was going in
Yeah.
so blind. I was like, what is
Right.
Nintendo going to even show? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was cool.
especially
And
since they're pulling out
Mario
an
Kart.
E3 this year. I think that's been an interesting situation because like
Yeah.
Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox all pulled out of E3.
Well, that's just a
That's what I
rumor right
heard.
now, but I mean, it's
Rumor,
probably true, but it's a rumor.
Right.
Gotcha. I didn't look much into it. I just seen it and I was like, wait, what? What's going on with E3? Okay. I don't know, but if
Yeah.
it's just a rumor, I don't know. We'll see.
I think it's mainly because they have their own like shows. Like
They do.
the
Yeah.
PlayStation does their own thing, Xbox does their own thing.
Yeah. There's
Nintendo has the Nintendo Directs. Like they don't really need E3 to like present what's coming in the future at this point. Like they had the Game Awards and then they have this. They have like the
yeah,
Directs. I
and
think.
and plus in the
that's kinda
summer,
like the move.
Jeff Keighley does Summer Game Fest as well. So I mean, there's
Right.
that as well. So E3 just
Mhm.
it's like oh we're gonna stop for a couple of years. Oh we're coming back, but it's like maybe not.
Yeah. I think everyone's just kind of over it, but like I kind of
Yeah.
wish it came back because I really like it's just nice having it all in one place. But I
It
understand
is.
why they don't. But
It definitely is. The next thing announced was Harmony: The Fall of Reverie. I don't know what that is. I have no clue.
I want to.
Wanna
I
what?
don't know.
What is this?
That's what I'm. Yeah.
This is how I know I spaced out during the direct.
Yeah. There was a couple points when it was like, all right, this is getting kind of boring at the moment. Because they
Because this
show
kind
those.
of looks like a. This kind of reminds me of like like a TV miniseries I saw on Netflix.
Okay, yeah. So it was just
Like
like
in
a,
the
it
art
was a
style.
CG, it was a CG trailer, so there wasn't much to go.
Yeah,
off
that checks
there.
out.
Octopath Traveler 2. I never played the first one, but I know a lot of people like it. So
Super good art style. Love the art style.
Yeah.
our style's good.
Right.
I agree with that.
Beautiful.
So, We Love Katamari Reroll and plus Royal Reverie. I have Katamari Damacy. I like it. I mean, I never finished it, but I think it's cool. It's a classic.
Yeah, I know that was kind of a big deal. That was
Yeah.
kind of a big deal for a lot of people who are like big in Katamari, but
Hmm.
I don't really care personally.
Yeah.
Look at that game. What was that game like on the earlier platforms? Which platform was it on earlier?
Wasn't it like PS2?
Yeah, I think it
Yes.
was that era.
Ah,
It was at least that era, yeah. Sea of Stars. Long-awaited RPG from team behind The Messenger. I don't know what Sea of
That
Stars
was-
is.
That was a good. That art style looked really cool.
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought
I'm
it was
looking
kind
at
of
it
cool
now.
because it took like
Yeah.
D&D Origins kind of like
Okay,
that's
yeah.
the way the battle system's built,
Yeah.
which was pretty cool. But like, I don't know. Nintendo dropped so much stuff. I don't have time to play games like this right now.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yep.
Feel that. It does look really cool though. I do like that art style.
It does.
Omega Strikers. Oh, this one I was interested in because this is free. This is a free online multiplayer game. It's that one with like the ball that you gotta hit from goal to goal. It's 3v3. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
This kind of gives me like looking at it. Kind of gives me kind of like League vibes.
It gives me like
Yeah.
Knockout City vibes.
That too.
Could be like combination of both in some ways. Yeah. Man,
Mhm.
Knockout City that blew up when it first came out.
Yeah, did you hear that it shut down now?
Did it?
Seriously?
Yeah, they shut it down.
Wow.
Damn, must have dropped off too hard,
Oh,
too
man, I thought
Yeah,
it was doing
the
good.
player base like wasn't there, and then they were just like, "Nah, we're not gonna do this."
Oh man.
That's crazy. I'm shocked it didn't happen in multiverses. Because multiverses kind of just had like a
Yeah.
had a really strong like start and then like dropped dead.
Yeah.
Like I haven't
It's
heard of a
still
single
getting-
person saying, "Oh, I'm gonna play or stream multiverses."
It's still getting DLC. I don't know the last character they added. They added like Black Adam and the I don't remember what you call it, and then Rick and Morty and stuff. But there hasn't been any
Huh,
like Maximilian Dude said there hasn't been any characters that like he really wanted to revisit the game for yet, you know? Like it needs those characters that you want to have to revisit it because they have a lot of characters they can add to that dang game. But I
Right.
think they're
I'm look-
taking a while. I don't know. It seems like
I'm looking at
because
the category. Less than like 1,000 people streaming in the less than 1,000 viewers in the category. Like, and a lot of people are playing in the category aren't even playing the game. Like,
Wow.
not a good look. Not a good look.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then again, Twitch is only one like outlet.
So, Advance Wars 1 and 2 finally got a release date. That's awesome.
That was super hype.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is like I wasn't excited for them before, but it might be something I end up picking up. And I'm not a big like tactical game person, but like I don't know. It might be something I might play.
Yeah, I actually haven't even played another Advance Wars game, but I was always really interested in the franchise because my brother played it on the DS when we were kids, and I liked watching him play it.
Mhm.
And so when it got announced for the Switch originally, I was like, "Oh, this is really cool." So then I looked up a bunch of stuff, and then I got like super like familiar with like all of the games, and it's just a really big deal that it's back. So I want it to succeed, and I hope it does very well.
Yeah, because then they might do an Advance War 3 if it sells
Exactly.
well. That'd be cool.
Exactly.
That's the hope.
Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. We play as Megalore.
The
That looked really cool.
Magalore.
Yeah, that looked
That
really
was
cool.
cool.
That looked really cool. I never played Return to Dreamland. It's a remaster from what was it
Yeah,
on
it's from the
originally?
Wii.
The Wii.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
The
The
Wii.
Wii.
That looks cool, and you can play with up to 4 people. I think, right?
Jen, what are your thoughts on that one?
It looks good.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna get it. Kirby and the Forgotten Land got me into the Kirby franchise, so I'm definitely excited for this one. I've actually played a little bit of the original Wii version because my cousin owned it. I think I remember playing as Meta Knight for a little bit, and that was about it. Or maybe was that another game? I don't know. What? Were there other? I don't remember it that well. It was a long time ago.
Good.
Were there other characters you could play as? Maybe it was in the party mode that we played. I think that's all I remember. Just playing the party mode.
Yeah, it looks like they're also bringing those back, which is cool.
Right.
Yeah, and when? Oh, there's a demo out for it. I might
Yeah,
check. I might
They
check.
they have a demo. Yeah, a demo. I was about to say they have a demo out.
I might try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forgotten Land got me back into Kirby again as well. Like, I don't know. I like some of the DS ones and stuff. They're classics. And there's one on the Super NES Mini as well. I forget which one, but I don't know. Kirby's always fun. But
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
Forgotten Land like completely changed. I'm surprised they never did DLC for that game, to be honest. Because it was
Yeah.
kind of popular. I think it sold pretty decent.
I mean, it did sell good. They kind of had like a lot of post game activity, so I think they probably felt like they didn't need to because they had like almost a whole other campaign in the post game to beat.
Okay, I gotcha.
Was Kirby's first game Kirby Superstar on the Game Boy? Was that his first game?
It was the first game on the Game
Maybe,
Boy.
yeah.
Well,
And
now
then it
that
came on the
sounds
NES.
Switch, I should try it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Now-
the next topic on the thing is Game Boy games coming to Switch Online. So,
Well,
that is a big deal. I was not expecting
Yeah,
when
that's
they showed original Game Boy. I was like, okay, they're gonna do Advance later on. You know, like a few months later
Mhm.
after original Game Boy. And when they showed Advance, I was so shocked. I was so surprised because I was not expecting that to be like right the same day. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that was really sick.
and no
I've been
additional
getting
charge.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome. I was getting a lot of recommendations from like people, and they were like, "You gotta play this game. You gotta play this game." Oh, but it's actually on the Game Boy, and I was like, "Guys, how am I supposed to do that?" But now that's
Emulator.
on here. I'm kind of hyped. Well, okay, yes, but at the same time, that's a lot of work for a game that I don't really care about.
Fair.
Yeah, I like that
There you go.
they showed on the list of upcoming games. They showed Metroid Fusions, and I never played that, and that's a game I really want to check out. I want to try Metroid Fusions. There's probably
Yeah,
some
I'm excited
others.
for that as well.
Yeah, because I've never played that one. I think that you know what's funny is I never really got into Metroid much. I dabbled with Super Metroid a little bit, but I never really got into it until Dread. And Dread really, I 100% that game. It was like up there for game of the year. Like that game was so good.
Yeah, Dread was fantastic. I think that should have won Game of the
I
Year.
loved it.
What year was that? Was that that was 2021, right? Dread was 2021, right?
2021, yeah.
Okay. I don't remember what
Yeah.
else came out that year. What one? What
That's
game of
like
the
in my
year?
top 3 games on Switch ever.
I don't even remember. I don't even remember what games were.
It was up against. Oh god, it was like a Sony game. I feel like, but
It had to have been. Hang on. 2021 game of the year. Not game of the year. Nominees 2021, not 2012. Game of the year nominees. Okay, what were they?
Were we talking about like the game that
Okay.
won that year?
Oh, It Takes Two won that year.
oh yeah, that.
You know
pissed
what's
me off
crazy?
so
I never
much.
heard of It Takes Two.
Oh really? I've
Like
played the
even
whole thing.
poster win,
never-
I've never heard of it.
No, I actually kind of
did,
love
but
that
I
game.
never played
but
it.
I've played and beaten both Metroid Dread and It Takes Two, and Metroid Dread should have won
Hey,
Game of
Hunter.
the Year. It Takes Two is a really cool game, and it's really fun to play with. Like you have to play the whole game co-op, but if you have like a significant other, like it's really fun. But yeah, like Dread definitely got robbed. Like that should have been the game.
I want to say I agree with that one. It shows the other ones were Resident Evil Village, Psychonauts 2, Deathloop, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Mhm.
I might have voted for Ratchet and Clank. I'm not sure. That was a pretty good PS5 exclusive, but after thought, honestly, yeah, Metroid Dread probably should have taken it. Because what a game. What a game.
Yeah.
But they didn't reveal any Pokemon games coming to the Game Boy stuff yet.
Nah, I didn't anticipate it.
I think they're gonna
Maybe
do that at the Pokemon Presents. Sorry to cut you
Most
off,
likely.
Infinite.
Yeah, they're most likely gonna do it then. Well, they might not. I mean, I feel like the only games they really need to like port over per se would be like old games that could like need to port over would be like maybe the Johto games and then the Hoenn game because we just got Sinnoh remake.
Yeah.
They're not going to touch Unibug because they know it's not going to end well no matter how they touch it. Kalos is a bit off, and then we have Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, which I mean, fun games, not worth a port at the moment. And then after that, it's just like Sword and Shield. So
I can see them releasing like the OG Game Boy games on the service and maybe
most
some
likely,
of the
yeah.
other stuff. But yeah,
I think it's just a little weird that they're gonna release it again after people already purchased it for the 3DS. You know?
yeah, but like
I
there's
see
such
why,
a bigger
but, like,
audience on the Switch now. You know what I'm saying?
right. Like I see why. I just think it's not like necessarily the wisest idea.
Okay, so I can't believe they went right into this right after the Game Boy stuff too, because I was already like excited and stuff, and then they were like, "Hey, here's Metroid Prime Remastered."
Right.
By the
Yeah, I
way,
lost my mind.
have your
As
shadow
a
drop.
headline of all things.
I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Like-
No way.
You just drop it as a headline. Like, Metroid's like a major thing. Like, that just made no sense to me. Like,
It was surprising.
Yeah.
straight mind-blowing.
And for a long time, people were saying that, all right, the trilogy. It was becoming like a joke at this point. And then it was like, okay, they're just doing the first one. So I think, because we haven't gotten anything on Prime 4, I personally think that they're going to do the trilogy one at a time, and then 4 will be ready when it's ready. I think they have a plan lined out here for whenever 4 comes around. I don't think 4 is going to come out this year, maybe not next year. I feel like they're doing this remaster maybe for a reason. I feel like they're doing... They didn't want to do the 3 together because they'd only get $60 out of people, but paying them $40 each, I mean, that's $120. Arlo actually made a video on this today or yesterday, talking about it, and he also thinks that they might do the full trilogy before Metroid Prime 4 comes out, and I think that's smart marketing as well, by doing one of them at a time.
think it's-
this way.
I think it's very possible. I'm kind of hoping. I don't know. I want to get Prime 4 like really bad, but I understand the viewpoint too. So.
Yeah, I
What's
think,
after Prime? I don't remember what came after Prime in the Direct.
Master Detective.
Wasn't it like a farming sim?
Master
Oh.
Detective Archives Rain Code. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
We were too everyone was
Yeah.
everyone was way too into Metroid that it was completely
Right.
irrelevant what came after it.
Yeah.
No one was even paying attention. It was
Pretty
like
much,
Metroid.
Yeah.
It's some like game where you have a ghost that follows you around, some like anime type thing.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah, whatever.
I looked at that. I'm like, that seems pretty cool in art style,
Mhm.
but probably not something I'm gonna touch. Like,
No.
it looks
Yeah.
like for me, it's like kind of like Hollow Knight. Like, it looks really cool in art style, but like, do I want to play that? I gotta feel it out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Freaking Metroid though. That just freaking Nintendo and their shadow drops, I swear. Sometimes
Shadow drop.
If it works, it works.
yeah, I'm sure it's already selling really well.
Out of
so,
nowhere.
honestly.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
waiting for the physical personally.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, I'm busy playing other stuff at the moment anyway, so I'll just buy the physical copy. Normally with
Same.
games, normally
Yeah.
with games that I'm like excited for anyways and stuff, I get a physical copy of it. But no, I think they're gonna
That's
do.
how I am.
I
Mhm.
think they're probably
too.
gonna do the trilogy one at a time, and then when 4 is ready, 4 will be ready because we haven't seen anything at all on 4 yet, and I still don't believe we're going to this year. If we do, it'd be at the very end of the year
Right.
just for a small teaser. It's weird because like, even if we get a small teaser, they're not going to give us a date or anything. It's like, look at Bayonetta 3. that was announced with a teaser trailer in 2017. It didn't come out until 2022. Like, so that's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. And I think they
I
restarted
remember
development.
that. Yeah.
And I think they restarted development 4 years ago for Prime 4. It's already been like 4 years from what I can recall, I think. 3 or 4
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I can't believe it's been that long.
it goes fast.
Mm.
I think we'll get something maybe by the end of the year, maybe just a teaser, but at the same time, I'm not sure now because we got Metroid Prime Remastered, and it's like, are we only going to get the first game and then the fourth game?
I hikey think.
Oh, what?
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say that I really think we're gonna see some like a teaser, and then I think it's probably gonna come out sometime next year, and then maybe they shadow drop Prime 2 or something. But yeah, that's my.
They might do that. They might not do the third one. Arlo said something too. He said there's a chance they might not do the third one. I forget why he said, but I mean they might just do the first two, and then after the second one drops next year or something, let's say, like a early year shadow drop next year, and then like holiday of 2024 will be Metroid Prime 4, which I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
Mhm.
The next thing is Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster, which were they were GameCube games. I never played those. But I think they're like RPGs.
I remember reacting to that and pretending to be really hyped, and then just being like, "Nah, guys, I don't actually care." So that's pretty much the only thing about that game.
Yep. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. I don't know. This was another like I think this was like a farming sim or something. Yeah, this was some kind of farming
Yeah.
thing or something. Weird, and it was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, hey, we're getting close to the end of the direct. I don't care about this stuff. I want to see my Zelda trailer already. Because we all knew it was going to be Zelda, I swear. Yeah, what?
Yeah, I got kind of hyped for a second because I thought it was the Mii's, because the way that the art style was, it's like kind of looked like the Mii's for a second, and then I was like, oh wait, never mind, this is kind of lame. So I thought they were gonna give us Tomodachi.
Oh, you're
You guys
good
are-
now.
Yep, now you're good. You're good now.
But yeah, Switch Sports. We literally still have nothing after golf. What is with that? Like,
I don't know what
Yeah.
their plans with that because I feel like they know like the Wii sports game was so popular, so I don't see why they haven't like capitalized off of that because like people would love to play Switch Sports to its fullest.
I get that maybe Switch Sports is still selling decent, but it would sell so much more if they picked up the development. But it's weird because I
Yeah.
look at like Xenoblade and Fire Emblem, and it seems like their expansion stuff comes out so much quicker than something like Switch Sports. Like, I don't...
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Switch Sports just... I feel like it would have been better if they would have waited a year. If they would have announced the game this year, you know, like summer of this year, and
Yeah.
and it was like a holiday game of this year. I think it would have done a lot better.
I think the thing is that it's selling, and the thing, like, Nintendo's weird because they can have games that'll just pop off and sell so much, like Animal Crossing and Smash, and then it'll just kind of stop, and everything just stops and slows. So it, like, almost doesn't even matter how well they sell. It's just kind of like what Nintendo feels like supporting and what they don't.
Yeah, that sounds like Nintendo. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. Yeah, I didn't care. Again, didn't
There's so
care.
many
It's just-
games that like there are so many games that they put in that it's like I quite literally can't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's not that I don't give a fuck. I can't give a fuck.
Mhm.
Yeah, truly, really. Oh, okay. I forgot about this for a second. The Mario Kart 8 DLC. We're getting
Oh,
a
was
character.
Right.
We're
That was
getting a
hype.
character.
Yeah, we're getting
New character out of nowhere.
out of
I thought it
nowhere.
was just in tracks.
and it's only one new track, which is interesting with Wave 4, and it's a brand new track. It's a brand new, right?
Mhm.
This Yoshi Island.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So brand new track and a returning character. That's really cool. It makes me think that maybe we could get who else would we like Nintendo characters that they could put in there.
Captain Falcon.
That
Oh,
would
yeah.
be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, F-Zero.
would be
Yeah,
good.
when's that coming back? Never.
Never.
I had someone in my YouTube chat like pissed off that there was no F-Zero, and I was like, "Homie, you're fighting a lost battle. Like,
That's
I
like
don't know
that's
what to
like
tell you."
asking for like that's like asking for more Kid Icarus. It's not gonna happen.
It's just it's like
Mhm.
wishful thinking. It's like, wow, that'd be sick, and like maybe they'll do it like in 20 years, but nah.
right.
Mm.
Like
Man, we'd all be so hype if they announced a new F-Zero. But that's wishful thinking at this
Yeah.
point. I feel
It
like it's
really
just
is.
wishful thinking. Oh, whatever. And then we got to Zelda, which we all knew was coming.
Yeah. we all knew it was
Mhm.
coming.
Yeah. It was like, okay, you either show us something now or you're doing a Zelda Direct, which maybe they still will. I don't know. I feel like we still haven't seen a whole lot. Maybe they're doing that on purpose, but I know the marketing for the game has to kind of start.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll probably see
Yeah.
like commercials for it here and there with new stuff, but I don't know if we'll get any more other than this. I feel like Breath of the Wild, they did didn't they do like a gameplay showcase with the Wii U?
Like 2 years
They
before the game
Yeah,
came
they
out.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So well, they probably figured they don't have to do that with this one because they know everyone wants it. They know everyone's been waiting for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we probably will get like a specific game direct because they do it for like everything. It seems like every big release, it seems like they have its own direct for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Xenoblade 3 have one.
Yeah, but I wouldn't expect it to be like a full blowout because I feel like that's not what we need. We just need people to get hyped for the game and then buy it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Which, I mean, I guess my biggest worry is the fact that it is the same world, revisiting. I don't want it to be like the same game, which it doesn't really look like the same game, but at the same time, there's so many aspects of it that look like it could be, but they're
Yeah.
just building upon it. So I don't know. It could be one of those situations like Doom 2016 to Doom Eternal, where they just up it by 11 compared to the 1st game. I mean, obviously, there's the new Sky area, and I haven't watched the video yet, but Arlong made one, I think, that says Legend of Zelda Nuts and Bolts. Because it looks like you're building
Yeah.
building stuff for Link to ride on and stuff.
Made
And I
a
think
car.
I'm wondering how
yeah.
that's gonna turn out. It seems like a really interesting mechanic, but I feel like we don't know enough right now
That's
to know
really
like,
cool.
what's it gonna be in full.
Yeah, he has
But
that sky vehicle.
I think it's gonna take advantage of like the whole like material implement system we had, where it's like in the first game everybody's like, oh, why don't we have crafting? Why don't we have crafting? Like, well, now we're getting crafting, but like not for like weapons, but actually for like gear to like ride on, which makes me back the question after the Master
I feel
Cycle.
like the arm thing is gonna be like the new Secret Slate.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
probably.
Most
There has
likely.
been a bit of a rumor, saying that this is actually the beginning of the timeline, not the end. Because
Whoa.
people are actually coming around to the idea that this might be like the first game in the timeline, like before everything else. Like because remember they said Breath of the Wild's the end of the timeline. Well, we can take that at face value, but like we know that like this game's either directly after Breath of the Wild or this game is the very, very beginning of the timeline. Because we know in Zelda things go in cycles, technology works in cycles, everything is in a cycle. And like if you look at the background of like the what's it called? The game icon, it's literally a cycle. So I like if this game ends up being like the end of the timeline, I mean the beginning of the timeline, I'd be pretty interested in that.
Yeah. I'm interested in what they're doing with how they're gonna change like dungeons and stuff too. If they're gonna do the same type of thing, or if we're gonna get like
Yeah.
new massive dungeon kind of stuff. I didn't mind what they did with
I
Breath of
hope
the Wild,
so.
but there's some people who definitely like. I have a friend who's a huge Zelda fan and was like, I'm not a really big fan of the dungeons, what they did with Breath of the Wild, or at least like the mini dungeons and all that stuff. I don't know about the 4 elementals. I think that's what they're called. I thought they were great, but I mean, I get people's nitpicks with Breath of the Wild and it not being like their favorite Zelda or whatever. I mean, Wind Waker might be my favorite personally, just because I grew up with it as a kid, and it was my first Zelda game I ever played. But I mean, I don't know what all they're gonna change, and maybe that's a good thing that they're not showing us a whole ton on the game. Maybe
Yeah.
they'll show us more before release, but it's
We
hard
saw
to say.
that there are some like new traversal mechanics. Like there was literally a car in this direct or in this thing. I don't know if you guys saw that, but like
Oh
Right,
yeah,
I
that
did.
thing.
Yeah.
yeah, there I
That-
feel
that
like
blew
there's
my
a
mind.
yeah, I feel like they're playing around a lot with like traversal and
Mhm.
making that different, and I think that's probably how it's going to be different. And then I think they've heard the complaints about the dungeons, and I probably like they're going to do something like that, but I don't know. I personally didn't have a problem with it either because I honestly got into Zelda with Breath of the Wild. Like I had
Same.
Wind Waker
Same.
on the Wii U, but I didn't care and I didn't finish it. Like I played it a little bit and I was like, "Oh, whatever." And I just like liked the open aspect of Zelda. That's what really drew me in
Yeah.
for Breath of the Wild.
A lot of people, Breath of the Wild was their
Yeah.
first Zelda game, so.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm
the-
also like young, so I just don't know.
Yeah. Um.
That
what was
was
I
the
gonna say?
direct.
Yeah. I was gonna say something on Zelda again, but I don't remember. I. Do we think that they're gonna remaster ever Twilight Princess and Wind Waker to Switch?
I don't think
Eventually,
they're gonna remaster them. I think they're just gonna port them directly.
Or yeah.
it's gonna be an eventual port. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because they
so
were on the
funny.
Wii U, so it doesn't make sense for them not to do it. Obviously not this year. We have this big Zelda game, but maybe next year,
Yeah.
or maybe they'll
I
do
feel
one
like
at a
there's very
time.
good chance.
Maybe they'll do one at
Yeah.
a time. You know, I
They
don't
might
think they'll
do
do
like
both
one
together,
at a time for $40, like they're doing with Prime.
like they did
I feel
with.
like what they,
What's up?
I feel like it would have been better for them to do in between, like Breath of the Wild, because they Breath of the Wild and like Tears of the Kingdom, mainly because we already like well, we had one game.
Well, we had two. We had two.
Two games. We had
Yeah.
Link's Awakening, then we had Skyward Sword. The remake on the Switch.
Mhm.
So
Link's
I'm like,
Awakening is the best game ever.
I love it. It's
It
so
was. It was
cute.
great.
Agreed.
It was
so I feel like if they were gonna do anything, I feel like they might have done it in between Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. So I feel like now, especially since the Switch is kind of going into the later years of its life cycle,
Mhm.
they might do
Mhm.
something. But I'm not like banking on it at this point.
Yeah.
I'm
Genius
really
Gamer-
hoping this. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, Genius Gamer R said Breath of the Wild is effective in bringing in new Zelda games. That it is.
Sure.
And he also said, I just hope Zelda games don't keep getting amiibo lock.
Yeah.
Amiibo
I mean, that
lock.
was just one game. Cause like in
I mean, yeah, I know Breath of the Wild's
It's-
amiibo, but like,
Oh, we're talking
no,
about
no,
Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword.
Yep.
Cause you had to use the
Oh.
amiibo to fast travel.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it was. Yeah, it was
It
weird.
kind
that
of
they did
didn't
that.
really affect the game very much though.
it
No.
didn't.
No, not at all. Not from not my experience.
I kind of hope like after Tears of the Kingdom comes out, they do a new 2D Zelda, like what we had on the 3DS and something more akin to those smaller Zeldas because I like loved Link's Awakening, like
Yeah, it was fun.
absolutely loved it.
Really
And
fun.
so
Yeah.
I hope that they kind of do something else like that, like, but maybe not a remaster, like a whole new game would be awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think they'll do. I think they'll do a whole nother game. I think maybe next year they'll do just a port of either Twilight Princess or Wind Waker, and then the year after they'll do a new 2D Zelda, and then the year after they'll do another port. Maybe that's their plan, not to do Twilight Princess and Wind
Maybe.
Waker together, and kind of make sure they have a Zelda game kind of every year, because I think that's
Yeah,
kind of the
stagger
point,
it.
give or take. Yeah. So I think that's kind of what they're gonna do because they know everyone wants Twilight Princess and Wind Waker ported, and they're already on the Wii U, so it only makes complete sense.
Yeah.
With them. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I mean, we went over everything, talked about Zelda, talked about no Mario. The Mario movie comes out in just a couple months. That's exciting. Maybe we'll do a
Yep.
short.
Very
Maybe we'll do a short little thing talking about that movie. Who knows? After we've all seen it.
That'd be fun.
I don't know. Yeah. So, I guess I'll end it. That'll be it.
Bye, B.
For the direct.
Later, y'all.
Thanks, guys, so much for tuning in to our.
course.
Yeah, thank you for
little
having us.
podcast. Yeah, no problem. This was
Thank
fun.
you, D-Man.
Yeah.
This is